Hello. So this video is going to be about the last one in the Sailor Scout Devil Fruit series. This one is going to cover Tuxedo Masks, so Darien, Sailor Moon, and Sailor Mini Moon. I'm actually going to go and do Darien first, then Mini Moon, then Sailor Moon, just because Sailor Moon is going to be the longest part, because she's got quite a few different attacks that I'm going to talk about, weapons I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the brooches, her transformation brooches. I am going to mention a few things that kind of enhance her power that affect her attacks, but not the brooches themselves. Okay, so first we're going to start off with Tuxedo Mask. But first, behind me, I have the first manga in the series, which of course has Sailor Moon on it. To go with her, I have Diancie, because just, Diamond Princess kind of works. Then I have the one that has Sailor Mini Moon on it, and I have, Sylveon that goes with her. None of the manga has Tuxedo Mask on the cover, or at least none of the manga volumes that I have. I think some of the original run of it had Tuxedo Mask on the cover somewhere, but the re-releases that they did don't. So I just have the one that is the final volume in the series that has Princess Serenity, Princess Rini, Princess Serenity the second, and then Chibiusa, who is, if you're not familiar with Sailor Moon, she pops up in the final act of the manga, or in the final arc of the manga, pops up in the final anime season, and she's kind of there. She's a player in it, but we don't really learn that much about her. And then, because I don't really have any Pokemon that deal with roses, unfortunately, we get, Leafeon, and then Leafeon has a rose because of Tuxedo Mask. So, starting with Tuxedo Mask, Darien Shield, Chivia Mamoru, Moonlight Knight, King Darien, or King Endymion, Prince Endymion. Take your pick, all the names apply to him. All the names apply. So he is technically the representation of Earth within the Sailor Scouts. And it's kind of more, he's there to protect Sailor Moon, of course, and protect, Sailor Mini Moon, because, him and Serena are in love, Tuxedo Mask, Sailor Moon, Prince Endymion, Princess Serenity, Serena, Darien, or Usagi, Mamoru, Neo Queen Serenity, King Endymion, down the line in love. And then, of course, Chibiusa, Rini, Sailor Mini Moon is their daughter from the future. And that's a fun thing to explain. So that's fun. But in the course of the series, he shows a few different types of a few different types of powers. The main power, of course, that he tends to use is, of course, he has his roses that he throws, hence why there's a rose over here, and that's just one of his attacks. He'll just throw roses at everybody. He has a few variations of it. Sometimes it's just like one rose that, blocks an attack from a villain. Sometimes it's, I remember one point in the anime, there was he filed a ring of roses that ring around the rose, a ring of roses that trapped the villain, and then it shot up a ton of different, I'm assuming petals and thorns that did damage to the villain. He's not nearly as strong as any of the Sailor Scouts, but his attacks can still do damage, particularly when combined with either Sailor Mini Moon or with Sailor Moon. His attacks can cause more damage, and it also just depends on the situation and what they're fighting and how much power he has at the time. But what ends up happening, that's one of the ones that he does. The other one is just where he throws out it releases just a ton of roses that he throws out. And then the other attack that he has is his Tuxedo La Smoking Bomber, which is basically just, him releasing a smoke bomb type attack. He has a few other attacks that are kind of just more energy beams. Those are usually combined with, Serena or Rini. I don't remember if they necessarily have names, but they're not, they're not things that he uses a lot of. Or fairly regularly, just because I'm assuming they take up so much energy, and unfortunately at various points in time throughout the series, Tuxedo Mask has been brainwashed well, at least twice in the manga and like 3 times in the anime, he was brainwashed. Which is just kind of, you know, okay, we've been through this before. Can you please stop brainwashing my boyfriend? You know, in regards to Sailor Moon, it's like I would just like to have a normal relationship. I already got to deal with the fact that we're reincarnated prince and princess from like 1,000 years ago, and he was from Earth and I'm from the moon, and it's hard enough explaining to my parents that I'm dating a guy who's a couple of years older than me. You know, that was just some of those things. That that Sarita has to deal with. But in the course of, so we see him use those powers. He also has the powers of healing. He doesn't really do like it's not like he can like fix your arm or something like that, but he can use healing and such like that. That allows him to usually combined with like Sailor Moon, or his power can like transfer into her to like heal her or heal Rini. I remember at one point in the anime, I don't remember if this was necessarily 100% touched upon in the manga, but it was in the anime. In the 3rd season, Rini is kind of comatose for a while. And this is during the battle with, I mentioned in the previous video with Pluto and Saturn that there was Mistress Nine. In the course of the original anime, Mistress Nine took something from Rini that basically puts her into a coma. And Tuxedo Mask is able to, Darien, as long as like Rini is in his arms and he's like holding her hand, she's stable. She's not going to get any worse. She's not going to die. That type of thing. She's stable. So kind of, able is to heal her that way. Darien also is affected by if as like the earth gets sick, like as the earth is affected by like dark powers, dark magic. It affects him and makes him sick, is usually kind of what ends up happening with that. That's kind of a little more touched on in the anime, but they do go into it in the manga, because usually what's in the anime usually does derive from what's in the manga a fair amount of the time. The other weapon that he tends to use is he has a cane that he uses as like, he'll use the cane as like a sword, and, hand-to-hand combat type thing. He does know how to use a sword because as a Prince Endymion, he did use a sword at various points in time. He's able to sword fight. And then when he is Moonlight Mask, which is not in the manga, but it's just in the anime for like the first couple of episodes in the 2nd season, he turns into Moonlight Mask, and it's kind of like, because they died at the end of the 1st season, and then they get reincarnated again, but they're back in their regular bodies and Earth and everything. And he doesn't have his memories, but Serena and the scouts get their memories back, and then she tries to help him remember. And we kind of have to see them bond anyway, and I'll go over that in the character discussions when I talk about them. But he kind of doesn't remember, but there's still a part of him that knows he has to protect Sailor Moon, and that part manifests as Moonlight Knight, that then later when he does get his memory back goes back into Darien, and he's whole again, whole quote unquote. So there's that. So there's that. So basically the devil fruits that I said that would probably work well for him, the main one that I gave him would be the, I mentioned this with Jupiter, the Mosa no Mi, the grow fruit that Vince has. Again, it goes off of the fact that, Darien is, he uses roses in his attacks. There's not really a devil fruit that we're aware of that necessarily deals with roses. I'm assuming that there might be a devil fruit out there, although whether or not it would be a Paramecia or a Logia would be a bit up for debate. Because, Logia and the fact that, petals and flowers occur in nature, and that you could eat, Logia type devil fruit that allows you to, turn into, flower petals, turn into, different types of flowers based on, whatever is necessary, or a specific type of flower, depending on stuff. And then also affect those and make them grow, you can affect, make a lot of, because when you're, a Logia, you can produce, you can produce sand if you're Crocodile. You can produce fire if you're Ace or Sabo. And then you can, control it. if you're like a Logia type and it's like a Logia type petal devil fruit or flower devil fruit, you could probably do that. Or if it's a Paramecia type one, then you could, just make a ton of things. I think there is a theory that at this point in time, there's a theory that Ryukogu, the third admiral that we have not met yet in the manga, um, could have that type of a devil fruit. We're not 100% sure yet because there was like mentions of things, but we don't know yet. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And if that does end up being the case, then that might be a very good devil fruit for Darien to have. Or if, Oda, or if they do a non-canon devil fruit that has to deal with like plant type stuff beyond, just, oh, it makes it grow. The other one in regards to the healing factor is the Chiu Chiu no Mi, or the heal fruit that Moshiri has, the Princess Moshiri of the dwarves. The Tontata princess that we're introduced to in Dressrosa. Her devil fruit, of course, allows her to, when she cries, her tears can land on you and they heal you. And then the other thing that she does, or the other main thing that we see her do in the anime and in the manga, is she is able to, I think if I remember correctly, it was like she holds onto a flower, or she produces a type of a flower that looks quite a bit like a daisy or something like that. The weed type thing that is, a weed isn't like, it's like the weeds that grow in your yard. Um, and she uses that to like release spores that then can heal people for a certain amount of time. But then it like stops and you get your injuries all back, which like does not seem to be a very good thing. And if she so chooses, she can sacrifice herself to bring someone back from the dead, to I'm assuming stop someone from dying, or someone who's on the brink of death type of thing. She can do that. She's very sweet, but I think that Darien would do quite well with that devil fruit. Also, in regards to the fact of, I'll go over what his dream is, but it also would work quite well for his dream. In regards to like his goal beyond, oh, I'm gonna be Sailor Moon's protector and partner and husband and the king in the future. I also want to have this other dream. And, throughout the course of the anime, we do see that a little bit. And in the manga, we see that a little bit too. His healing ability, him being able to heal the Sailor Scouts, heal, just the citizens in general. The other one that I gave him is Darien is also a very good motivator for the Scouts. He's able to give them, pep talks and stuff like that, give them encouragement. Also, he tends to get captured a lot, and that usually results in, okay, now the Sailor Scouts are, now particularly Serena and Rini are very, very angry, and they want their husband / father back. And, a future husband / father back. And in that range, I gave him the Kobu Kobu no Mi, the pump fruit that Bello Betty has from the Revolutionary Army. Just because of, he's very motivating and everything, and usually having him around kind of helps motivate not just Serena and Rini, but the other scouts as well. Because, they like Darien too. Ray at one point like dates Darien for a little while before he gets his memories back and remembers who Serena is. Admittedly, at that point in time, they didn't know that he was the prince that was supposed to be with Serena, but moving on past that, the other Sailor Scouts all kind of, bond with Darien as well. And then the other one that I gave him, or that would be good for him, would be the Ape no Mi, the Op fruit, because, that Law has, because Darien, like Amy, like, Hotaru, wants to become a doctor. He wants to help heal people. And that was always just something that he wanted to do. I don't remember if this has actually gone over specifically in the manga, but it is talked about in the anime that when Darien was a kid, when he in his reincarnated life, when he was a kid, there was a horrible car accident and both of his parents died. He was in the car accident too, but he lived. I think there's like a theory that like, oh, the reason that he lived is because he's Prince Endymion and that he has a purpose, and that even though like his two mortal Earth parents died, that he still has to live because he still has to find Sailor Moon and help with all of this stuff and find Serena and everything. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of deal with that, but I just don't like the fact of, oh no, his parents are dead. but he kind of goes through that, and he just wants to, he wants to help people, and him and Amy bond about that and the fact that they both want to be doctors. He's, as I stated before, he's given like motivational type speeches to the scouts at various points in time. And he's also very protective of the scouts as well, particularly Serena and Rini, but definitely the other scouts as well. He cares about them because they are his friends. He's a bit older than most of the main group, but they're still his friends. And I do enjoy that they go over that in the story, that they do show that the scouts aren't just Serena's friends, or they're not just Rini's friends. They're Darian's friends too, because he knew them in the Silver Millennium, he knows them now. They will work together in the future and everything, and so it's a very good way of showing that it's like they're his friends too. Darian has some of his own friends, but there's not as many. I'll go over like Darian's friends a lot more in the Sailor Moon discussion videos, because Darian will have his own. So I gave him those. I guess by technicality, in regards to like the tuxedo mask smoking bomb or whatever thing that he does, I guess technically, you could give him Smoker's devil fruit, that the smoke fruit or whatever it is that he has. I guess you could technically give him that, but that's not really something that works very well for Darian, I don't think. So that's what we have for Darian. Him, again, Doctor, go with Kureha or Crocus or something like that. Not too much more besides that in regards to like what else Darian could do. I mean, like he'd find Serena in all of the One Piece world. If he was in the One Piece world, he would still find Serena. Because soulmates type thing. Soulmates, red strings of fate, whichever way you want to put it. He would find her, she would find him. They've done it multiple times already. On that note, into what that kind of results in them, having. Moving on to Sailor Mini Moon. Technically her full name is Serena. Technically I think it would be like Chibiya Usagi the second, because she has Darian's last name. But Serena Tsukino, Rini is what she's referred to as. Chibiusa is kind of her Japanese name, because she's like little bunny, little rabbit. And then Sailor Mini Moon, Sailor Chibi Moon, and then she has another counterpart that she turns into that is called a Wicked Lady, which happens when she's possessed and brainwashed. Which thankfully she only gets possessed and brainwashed once, I think. Yeah. So she, Rini, kind of has, she has aspects of both of her parents. She has moon powers, of course, considering that her mother is, of course, Sailor Moon, and, Queen of the Moon, Queen of the, blah, blah, blah of the future. So she has moon powers, but she also has kind of healing powers like her father. So she has the ability to heal. The other thing that she has is, this is something that much more comes into play in the fourth arc of the manga, the fourth season of the anime. There's quite a bit that deals with dreams in that part of the anime. And Rini ends up being this like connection between the Sailor Scouts and this new power that comes into play, that is a flying horse named Pegasus that Rini falls in love with. I'm not joking about that. She falls in love with a horse. Admittedly, the horse can turn into a guy, so, there's a bit of a, okay, not so much there. Not as creepy as it sounds. So she also has the power to kind of influence dreams, as in she can kind of draw on the power of people's dreams. She also has, at one point, she is referred to as having the sweetest dream, as in like her dream, not like she dreams of like sugar or anything like that, but she dreams of, peace and wanting to protect her family and everything like that. And that's it's a power that can be drawn on in the Sailor Moon world. She also, hearts are also part of her. There's hearts all over the place for her and everything like that. Because that kind of derives from things that deal with her mother, Queen Serenity. The other, and her weapons that she has She has her pink moon rod, which is this, which is kind of cute. It's the first weapon that she receives, and she uses it to perform her pink sugar heart attack, which sometimes works, and when it does, it looks like this. And when it doesn't work, it just kind of stalls and then sometimes starts working. Like she'll like get it and she's like arguing with the thing, like, come on, just please work, please work, please work. And then it'll go off and she'll be like, because it like attacks the enemy or whatever. It doesn't do nearly as much damage as what like Sailor Moon's powers can do, obviously, because it's like a downgraded version of it because she's still learning. But it's still kind of okay, yeah. It'll still like sting the enemy. It won't really do too much besides that, but it just kind of like is enough to like sting the enemy and distract them a little bit. The next weapon that she gets, kind of a two-parter here. She has another. At one point, she does have her rod gets an upgrade. The Pink Moon rod gets an upgrade into. In the manga, I think it just turns directly into the Moon Kaleidoscope, which is just this other type of a wand. Serena has one as well. They're the same type of thing. It's just I'm assuming Serena's is a little bit stronger, and her and Serena do an attack together. Mostly in the manga, but they do bring it in the anime a little bit. I think mostly in, I think they actually use it in like the third Sailor Moon movie that they did for the original series. The attack is called Moon Gorgeous Meditation, which they're wands that come from the power of dreams. So that kind of goes with the meditation and dreams. And it's usually it's Serena that does the attack on her own, but at various points, mostly in the manga, but a little bit in the anime. And I think they're going to do this in Crystal as well. Serena and Rini use the attack together to, defeat the enemy or stop the enemy or purify the enemy, depending on the circumstances. And that would be where that comes into play. In the anime, the original anime, they give her a weapon that is called the Twinkle Crystal Bell. And it's just this bell type item that she has that when she rings it, it calls upon the power of Pegasus, that then that allows Serena to do the Moon Gorgeous Meditation, that lets Rini help with it. The bell also acts as like a weapon that Rini can use as well, in regards to sending out an attack of her own. Serena and Rini actually both have kind of a sound-based attack. In Sailor Moon, Serena and Rini both have, they have like their Serena has like the orbs, and then Rini has like the teardrops, and as part of their hairstyles, and which are just kind of cute. And when they're in their Sailor Scout forms, they have like little coverings on them, and when they are, it's usually an emotional distress type of a moment, they can let out a scream that is, like their whine or their scream that is like reverberated by, like they act like speakers that can like reverberate the sound, and that causes pain to the opponent, because it hurts their ears, and it's a loud vibration and everything that causes damage. It's touched on a little bit in the anime. They don't do it too often. It mostly comes into effect when I know it does, like in the very first episode of Sailor Moon, it comes into effect because like Serena has no idea what she's doing, and she's scared, and she's having to fight this enemy, and it's the first time that she's transformed into Sailor Moon, and she uses it against an enemy that's hurting her friend, but she's still scared, and it activates that way. And then I think Rini uses it at some point as well. That might come into play a little bit more in Crystal, but I'm not 100% sure yet. The other, and those are basically what Rini has for her attacks. She usually works with her mother, with Sailor Moon, in regards to those attacks. And in regards to the okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Dark Lady or Wicked Lady, and then I'll explain the power base. So we're introduced to Rini in the second arc of the manga, the second season of the anime, and she falls out of the sky and lands on her mother's head and kisses her own father, which is just one of those moments where it's like, what the frick did I just see? but like she doesn't know that Serena's her mother. She doesn't know that Darian is her father. She's grown up on stories of Sailor Moon. She's trying to find Sailor Moon, but the enemy that they're having to fight throughout the course of this ends up getting a hold of Rini. And because Rini, she gets, developed a bond with Sailor Moon and the other Sailor Scouts and with Serena and everything, and eventually learns, oh, Serena is, Sailor Moon, and oh, she's actually your mother in the future, because apparently the hairstyle didn't give it away. Kid, come on. But so they deal with that. But Rini also ends up getting manipulated by the enemy that they have to fight in that arc, kind of the head guy of the bad guys, kind of the guy that's like manipulating the bad people anyway, type of thing. And he gets a hold of Rini, and then like he messes with her memories. They do this is both in the anime and in the manga and in Crystal, and he messes with her memories a bit to just make her remember the bad things, or to alter the memories to make it seem like everybody just hates her, like nobody wants to spend time with her. Her mother, her father, the scouts, they don't want to spend time with her. They're disappointed in her. They're disgusted with her. Take your pick. He just messes with her memories, and then like infuses her with a ton of dark energy that he has, and he then that results in her changing from her little kid, innocent self into Wicked Lady, which is she's pretty, and you can definitely see the similarities between Sailor Moon, between Serena and Wicked Lady and everything, with the same body type and the same facial structure and everything, except that she has pink hair and pink pointed things, pointed orbs on her head. And so there's that happens with the Rini, and so she has that power, and she's kind of she's brainwashed into, okay, so this is my new job. I'm supposed to stop all of this, stop the Sailor Scouts, stop Sailor Moon, cause so much problems, bring darkness into this area, all that happens with her. And it's just like, yeah, that happens there quite a bit. But she ends up getting saved by her parents helping her. In the original anime, it's more her parents helping her remember her actual memories, and then in the manga and in Crystal, it's Pluto dying in front of her is kind of also what snaps her out of it. So there's that. But she does turn back into regular Rini, and that's when she gets her, well, in the manga and in Crystal, that's when she gets her power of actually becoming a Sailor Scout, and that's when she becomes Sailor Mini Moon. In the original anime, that doesn't happen until about season 3 that she gets that. But the devil fruits that I gave Rini, the first 2 are based off of her Wicked Lady, which is, the first one is Juribani's devil fruit that allows her to manipulate her own age, because Rini goes from this kid into this teenage type body, and trivia about Sailor Mini Moon. When we see her as a kid, she's actually like 900 years old and hasn't aged for a long time, for reasons that are just okay. Also, Rini's dream is she wants to become a lady like her mother. There's irony in that, because Serena, as just Serena, and even as Sailor Moon, is rather clumsy. As Queen Serenity, she seems to have gotten this quite a bit more under control, and seems to have developed more into having like an air of grace and sophistication about her. That was also one of the things that the bad guy used in regards to manipulating her, is using memories of like so many people saying, oh, she'll never be a lady like her mother, she's just nothing but a little kid, and that type of stuff. And so there's that manipulation there that still plays into the Wicked Lady thing. And she ages up, and after she ends up kind of getting through, kind of, I guess it would be like a type of a mental barrier that she has, she is able to then age kind of normally, I would assume, because the next time that we see her, she has aged up a little bit. And then, she continues to age normally when she spends time in the past and everything. So we have that. The other one that I gave her that is based off of Wicked Lady is the Yami Yami no Mi, the dark fruit that Blackbeard has. As I mentioned with Sailor Saturn, with Sailor Saturn has there's a very dark connotations around her. Wicked Lady can manipulate kind of darkness and dark energy as well, which would fall quite well into that for having that devil fruit power. And then the other one that I gave her is it's a non-canon type devil fruit, and I haven't actually seen the arc that it's from in the anime, but it's just a non-canon devil fruit that's called the Nemu no Mi, which is like just like the dream devil fruit, or the dream devil fruit. It's used by a kid named Noko. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a devil fruit that allows you to put people to sleep, and then you kind of feed off their dreams, and you can kind of manipulate their memories. And I just kind of more put that there as like it's the only devil fruit that we know that actually deals with dreams, as far as we're aware, specifically dealing with it. I mean, Pudding's devil fruit, her Memo no Mi, allows her to manipulate people's memories, which Rini kind of had her memories manipulated, and I guess by technicality, Pudding could, if with enough practice, I would assume that Pudding would be able to maybe, like put her hand into your head, and then be like, okay, I now know your exact motivation for whatever it is that you're doing, because I looked at like your core memories or your core goals or something like that. The Dream Devil fruit would probably kind of allow you to do something similar to that. You can see it's one thing to see about like what people dream about from like night to night, or even like nightmares, I guess, would kind of go into that as well. But also deals with being able to possibly see what people's like goals are, like their goal of becoming this, like Luffy's goal of becoming the king of the pirates. Nami, Luffy becoming king of the pirates. Zoro, greatest swordsman. Nami, map of the world. Usopp, brave warrior of the sea. Sanji, the all blue. Frankie, I can point at this the right way. Frankie, sail the ship around the world. This, or well, no, that's no, sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. Hold on. Chopper, Doctor, Brooke. Get back to Laboon. Robin. The find the true history, and Frankie. Build Thousand Sunny, and then sail it all the way around the world. And now, Jinbei's on the crew. Him wanting to, help Luffy achieve his dream, but also see, Fishman Island, and the merfolk and the fishmen allowed to be equals with everybody else. So the dream devil fruit would maybe be able to allow you to see what those are. See what the differentiation between like what you dream from night to night, and then what your actual dream is. And Rini having that power would be quite good for her to have. Also, with the healing power that she has, she also would be quite good with the Moshiri's devil fruit as well. Not so much the Ape no Mi, mostly just because her dream is not to become a doctor. But the healing ability would be quite good for that. And we've reached about just after the half-hour mark at this, so time to talk about Sailor Moon herself. The namesake of the series. Sailor Moon time. Okay, so yeah. Sailor Moon, Serena Tsukino, I don't know why I always mispronounce that, part of my freaking channel name. Tsukino Usagi, and then Princess Serenity, Neo Queen Serenity, varying names of the various variations of Sailor Moon. Yeah, lot there. Okay, so planetary symbols. Moon, definitely. Duh. Healing. Sailor Moon can also heal. That goes from both, because she heals a lot of the bad guys that they end up dealing with because they're like possessed. Dreams. Powers do come from dreams as well in regards to that, particularly when, powered up by Pegasus, and then, heart, her, from her heart, the power of love type of a thing. Also works quite well with that. We get that. And then, then in regards to that, we also have Well, her dreams are just, they're kind of all over the place, but it's like to be a bride, to marry Darian, to be a biologist, be a teacher, an actress, a food taster, a lawyer, and a super fashion model. Okay, sure. You're gonna become queen someday. You're gonna have a lot more to do than just. You're gonna have a lot less time to do any of those things. But you're gonna become queen. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Um, you got a lot of other things on your plate first, kid. Um, but in regards to that, we're gonna go over a few of the different items that she has. Again, not gonna go over her brooches or necessarily the origins entirely of the different powers that she has. I will be going over a little bit if it's in regards to like this thing combines with something to make it stronger. So the first kind of, well, her first weapons are, of course, her tiara, her moon tiara that she uses for moon tiara magic. She has the crescent moon wand that she receives partway through the first season, and she uses that. She has moon healing activation, and it just allows her to heal. She uses it against certain enemies that are actually kind of being possessed or something along those lines. It's a little bit more obvious in the original anime. They deal with like people that were actually humans that have like end up being possessed by kind of whatever the variation of the bad guy is at that point in time, a demon or something like that. And she has to heal that power. She has to use her power to heal them. And then she also has, on top of that, she gets the Imperium Silver Crystal, which has 3 forms. We have the original form, which is just it's just a little, little crystal, little orb, which is, it gets that in the beginning, and then it does change, it grows. It's a little more apparent in the actual anime as it changes. It's a little bit there in the manga, but mostly in the anime, and then it turns into this type of flower that we have here. And then it is also the kind of a teardrop shape at one point as well. So those are the 3 that we have for that. For the Imperium Silver Crystal, and when combined with her Crescent Moon Wand, she is able to use Moon Cosmic Power, which is just this huge, big type of attack that is just kind of levels everything bad that's in front of it, type of a thing. Causes a huge amount of damage to it, and just kind of like purifies whatever was there, which is quite well done. The other kind of first, not weapon, but item that she ends up getting is her disguise pin. This is in the original anime, it's in Crystal, it's in the manga. It allows her to change her clothes based on, oh, I need to look like a professor, or I need to look like a teacher, or I need to look like a doctor, or I need to look like what was one of the other ones, like a hairstylist or a photographer. She goes through, she uses it to make different disguises. It also messes, like it changes her hair, like makes her hair shorter or longer or different hairstyles. It messes with her clothes, just to make it that she's, able to sneak into certain places, which, works rather well for the way that she uses it. It's just one of the things that she uses to get into different places. Doesn't do too much besides that. It doesn't like enhance her power or anything like that, or doesn't give her like, oh, make me into a doctor. Okay, now I'm going to go perform surgery. Yeah, no, it doesn't do that. The next power up that she gets beyond the brooches is from season 2. She gets her Moon Scepter, which it's awakened in a moment of desperation type of a thing. And she gets her Moon Scepter, which is this. And then she has kind of 2 attacks that go with that. She has Moon Scepter Elimination, which is kind of the first attack that we see her use throughout the original, throughout the first part of the second season, and then even into the second half of the second season. And it's just kind of, it's there to destroy the enemy. Doesn't really do too much besides that, just there to destroy the insert name of monster of the week. And then the other attack that she has with it is her Moon Crystal Healing Activation, which is like, the other healing abilities that she's had before, where she is able to purify something. Eliminate all of the dark energy, the dark power that is inside of it, and bring it back. She uses this at one point to purify different enemies that at one point they end up dealing with in the second half of the second season. There's three sisters that end up becoming friends with the Sailor Scouts, and Serena purifies them, and then they're made human. And then, of course, she uses it on Rini to turn her back from Wicked Lady into her real self. And then there is still, in regards to that, using, the crystals for, moon cosmic power type of a thing. She can still use that. The Silver Imperium crystal, just used on its own, she can use moon cosmic power, and she uses it a fair amount through the series. The next one that we have is her Spiral Heart Moon Scepter, which is again kind of awakened in a moment of desperation. It transforms the Moon Scepter into the Moon, Spiral Heart Moon Scepter, based on power up by her and Darian, their love, their bond, and again, go over that a little bit more when I get to the actual discussions. But she has that, and her first attack with that is Moon Spiral Heart Attack, which is just, releasing a large amount of energy at the enemy that then, destroys the enemy. And then she has, and then she ends up getting a Holy Grail, is just what it's referred to as, which is definitely a reference back to the, biblical myth of the Holy Grail. It's in the original anime, it's awakened by the three treasures that the three outer scouts have, that Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto have. It's awakened by those three combining. And then in Crystal and in the manga, I think it's more awakened by her, Darian, and Rini. Rini as Sailor Mini Moon, and Darian as Tuxedo Mask. The three of them, their bond, their family bond, combining in it, and it forms into this chalice. That then allows Serena to then level up into the first variation of Super Sailor Moon. And she is able to use Rainbow Heartache, Rainbow Moon Heartache, or Rainbow Moon Heartache Reform, which is more just, it's more she just uses it to just kind of like destroy the enemy. It doesn't really do too much in regards to healing. I mean, it can be used for healing, but that's not something that she basically uses against. I think she tries to use it on Mistress 9 at one point, but Mistress 9 getting rid of Mistress 9 is something that kind of, as I mentioned with Hotaru and the Saturn, Pluto and Saturn video, she does on her own. And then we have kind of the fifth scepter, fourth, fifth, whatever scepter that Serena gets. Is the, as I mentioned, it's the same as Rini's, Moon Kaleidoscope Scepter that she has. It is used for the Moon Gorgeous meditation, mostly used by Serena on her own in the original anime, and then in the manga, and then in the Crystal, I think it is used by the both of them quite a bit as like a double attack to just, intensify the power. Can be used for healing, can be used for just destroying the enemy depending on the circumstances. Not really any other power-ups that go with that. The next one that she gets is her Eternal Tiare, I think is just what it's referred to as. And it's just, it's a scepter, kind of orb on top, wings on it. This is what she uses as Eternal Sailor Moon. And her attack with it, or her first attack, is Starlight Honeymoon Therapy Kiss, which throughout the course of the anime where she has it is more used to heal. Purify, healing is more what it's referred to, hence the therapy type thing that's there. It allows them to heal the thing that is possessed. It's usually like a person that, something got taken out of them, and then they get turned into a monster, and she heals them. And then the upgrade that she gets with that is the Holy Moon Chalice, which is just, it's a chalice that she ends up getting at some point. I don't remember exactly how in the fifth season or in the fifth arc of the manga, but she gets it, and she can combine it with the scepter to just make it even stronger. And then that results in her being able to use the Silver Moon Crystal Power Kiss. That's a mouthful. And she can use that to, heal or destroy depending on the circumstances of whatever it is that she's fighting. For for more information on these things, see possibly several months or so from now when I talk about the actual Sailor Moon characters. Um, um, and in regards to all that, now we're going to talk about devil fruits for Sailor Moon, which, as I mentioned, Saturn had quite a few. Serena's probably gonna have. I think Serena ended up having more because I have like 6 listed here for what I was gonna give her for ones that would work well for her. So to go with her healing again, just like Darien, just like Rainy, she has the Chiyu Chiyu no Mi, the heal fruit from Molcheri again. Um, Same basic reasons of she uses it to heal. She heals enemies. She heals friends. She purifies. Does all that type of stuff with it. Um, the other one that I've also given to someone else, actually, I've given two other people. The other one that I gave her was also the Kobu Kobu no Mi, the pump fruit that Bella Betty has again. Again, Sailor Moon is also quite good at motivating her friends and using her power to bolster other people. So again, goes with the motivation that she uses. She also she gives her friends a reason to fight by reminding them that they're not alone. And she does this with her friends, not just the Sailor Scouts, but also her other friends. She tries to motivate them a lot. We can do this. If you like, if you want to do this, then go and do it. If it's going to make you happy, that type of a thing. She's very supportive in those types of roles. And that type of a devil fruit, I think, would be quite good for her in that case of, pumping up someone's power to be able to help them enough. And then the other one that I've given to someone else also is, to go with the disguise pin, is the Fuku no Mi, the Garb fruit that, Kinemon has, that I also gave to Sailor Pluto, because, of her disguise pin. She's able to, change her appearance with the disguise pin. I don't remember. I think Kinemon's power can affect your, hair a little bit, because I think I remember seeing, he made changed Nami's hairstyle, changed Sanji's hairstyle at some point, I think. I don't remember exactly, but I think it can affect someone's hairstyle. Mostly it just affects the clothes, I would say, for the devil fruit, but it can, I guess, affect them, affect that as well. So yeah, we have the pen for that, which would be the garb fruit. And then in regards to the 3 more unique ones that I gave her, the main one that I thought would work very well for her is actually the Saru no Mi, the soul fruit that Charlotte Linlin has, that Big Mom has, because Serena, and we see this throughout the entire series of Sailor Moon, throughout the manga, the original anime, Crystal, the movies, whatever. We see that Serena has a very strong soul, a very strong heart. And she puts so much of her soul into what she's trying to do. She puts everything she can into being Sailor Moon. Yes, we see at times she has doubts of being Sailor Moon, but she still, puts all of her heart and soul into it. And her, being able to, use the soul fruit, she doesn't have the indestructible body that, Big Mom has, but she definitely has the strength in her soul that I think could definitely rival Linlin's. And in regards to, Big Mom's dream is, she wants to have, a world, where everyone is equal. Her world of equal of everything is twisted, but Serena, as Queen Serenity, as Neo Queen Serenity, she just wants to make everybody okay. She wants to have everybody be happy, have everybody be safe, make sure that everybody has what they need, and that everybody is at peace. And Serena doesn't like bullies by any means, so she doesn't like that concept. She was bullied. She doesn't like bullies. She would definitely be able to use that to a good degree of having strong homies around her, I would say. Let's turn all of her wands into homies. That would be kind of interesting. They all already basically have a piece of her inside of them anyway, because they were made with her own power. So I would say that would probably work. The other one that I kind of gave her, I think this is the first character first one that I gave a Zoan type devil fruit too. I think maybe. I gave her kind of the Tori no Mi model Phoenix, the bird devil fruit model Phoenix that that Marco has from the Whitebeard Pirates. well, former Whitebeard pirates at this point in time, because she's been reborn so many times. I think a bit more than some of the other Sailor Scouts. Not by much, but just because throughout the course of the series, I mean, by technicality, this Devil Fruit and the Revive Fruit would work with all of the Sailor Scouts and Darien, because they've all died at various points throughout the whole course of time of the actual manga, anime, blah, 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 that they can be reborn. And that power is there. Also, the Phoenix, the healing flames that Marco has also goes with the healing power that that she has and Darien has and Rainey has, and the doctor type stuff and everything. So that goes there. Final Devil Fruit that I gave to Serena is the Rocky no Mi, or the Luck fruit that Baccarat has. It's a non-canon Devil Fruit. It's from Film Gold, but I liked Baccarat in Film Gold. I liked the idea for Devil Fruit, which is basically just an OP Devil Fruit that allows her to, okay, I'm going to flip this coin in the air, and now you're going to get hit by a bow and arrow, or whatever the case was for however she was using it for that power. Where she can just like manipulate people's luck, take your luck, give it to herself, give luck to someone else, whatever the case may be, just manipulate it all over the place. Because Serena is very lucky, in all honesty, and I know that it is basically plot armor around her, but it's still, luck. Luffy's got the, super lucky, but, all the others, Serena's got luck all over the place for her as well, and I would just say that one would work quite well for her as well. As I said with Darien, if they were in the One Piece world, her and Darien would find each other. I mean, they would find each other. They would have Rini. Maybe she'd be the queen of a king. Maybe like Serena would be like the queen of a kingdom or something like that, and her scouts would be her, the guards that are around her, like as I mentioned with Uranus and Neptune, like they do like the big traveling sideshow circus fortune teller food type thing, and like Serena is there as well, and she does something. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what Serena's talents are, but she wants to be like the model and the everything else, so she can do that. And it was just like, all that fun stuff of just put all the Sailor Scouts together. I don't think they'd be a pirate crew, but if they were a pirate crew, they would be a good pirate crew type thing. I think that'd be kind of fun. Although in regards to who would be the captain, by technicality, if we have to go by the logic of Sailor Moon, Serena would have to be the captain of the ship, and I don't know if that would work so well. I don't really know if that would work well. For Serena being the captain of a pirate ship, I just don't see that working very well. I guess it would be kind of like with Luffy, except that Serena kind of is afraid of certain things, but she will still help people that are in need. So there's that. But I don't know if you think of something that would be like a good type of a role that any of the Sailor Scouts could have in the One Piece world, comment about it if you think of one. That's fine. Maybe you thought of something I didn't, a Devil Fruit that I didn't think of for one of the Sailor Scouts. I debated about doing the Luna, Artemis, and Diana video, but I'm like, all of the answer to that is the Hito no Mi, the human fruit that Chopper has, because they are cats that turn into a human. Yeah, that is about the only thing that I came up with. Well, that would be a very short video. Just cats that turn into humans. I mean, they're intelligent and they can talk. I guess the opposite of that would be they're all like humans that ate, a different variation of like the Neku no Mi, Neku no Mi, model black cat, model white cat, model pink cat, or purple cat in Diana's case, I would just go like, okay, I guess that's what we get there. Those would just be the answer to that. I mean, they're smart, they can talk, but we don't really get too much else with that, because as far as I remember, I don't remember this. As far as I remember, Luna, Artemis, and Diana don't really have any other powers. I mean, Luna kind of had the power to, I wouldn't say create, but she kind of had like, I guess, a spatial pocket that she had access to, that allowed her to gave Serena her original brooch, gave Serena the disguise pin, gave Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter their original transformation pins. Artemis gave Venus, her original transformation pin, or pin wand when he found her. All that type of stuff. It's like it comes from them, but then it gets enhanced by other things. So I don't know, maybe like that pocket fruit that the guy from the Whitebeard crew has. I don't remember his name, but that pocket fruit would work well, I guess, for that. Not really too much else that I would say would work for them. That's about what I got there. So that would be the end of this video. This one's definitely probably going to be the longest out of all of the Sailor Moon ones for this bit, for the Devil Fruit one. So that's what I got. I think I'm going to be starting on the Digimon series very, very soon, where I talk about the Adventures kids, the original 8 that go to the Digidestined Tai and his group, and then just because like Adventure, and Adventure, and then Adventure 2.0, and then the Digimon Adventure Tri, and then the Digimon Final Evolution that they did in 2020. Those all together are all just one big storyline, and I'm just going to do all of that together, not all in the same episode, but do like Davis and his group, and then Tai and his group, and then Davis and his group, and then like some of the miscellaneous Digidestins, and then some of the other things that go into that. So that'll be a bit of a long series, but we'll see how that goes out with everything. It might be like one like video each for each of the Digidestin. It might be 2. It depends on how long the videos end up being based on the what's in the Digidestin story. So that's what we got. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye. You're so strong today. Every time you seem different. And there are parts of you I don't know. What is your real personality? Who are you really?